Welcome to today's video. Yesterday we made some Summer Sunflower Crochet cup coasters. Today we will be making some Summer Sunflower Crochet placemats. Well, I'm only making one in the video, but you can make as many as you want. To get started, we're gonna start with a magic loop. Fold your tail up under your working yarn. Stick your needle through the front and bring your working yarn back up through. Yarn over and pull through and you got a little knot. And now you're gonna chain 3. You can probably hear my chickens scratching the ground in the background, my bad. And then we're gonna do double stitches. So yarn over, go through the center loop, yarn over, pull through that, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're gonna go 12 around, and we are including the 3 chain stitches that we started with. The third little stitch is going to be the top of our first stitch, so that's the stitch that you're going to slip into once you've gone all the way around. So always double check and make sure that you have the right amount of stitches. Slip into that 12th stitch. Keep in mind that while you were doing those 12 stitches, you should have tucked the tail into your work while you were going so that you can slip it tight when you're done. Just pull the tail snug. And then at the very end of this project, we're gonna go ahead and tuck the tail in so that we can trim it. But first, we're just gonna leave it and we're gonna continue on to our second row. So you're gonna chain 3 again. And then we're gonna do 2 double stitches in every single stitch. So go right into the stitch that you just came out of. We've already got our 1 double stitch technically. So we're gonna do 1 more. And then we're going to go into the next stitch and we're going to do 2 double stitches. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Each double stitch has 3 yarn overs. Well, technically 4 if you count before you go through the stitch. So once you get all the way around, we started with 12, so we're increasing every row by 12, so you should end with 24 in this row. Always double count. Now we're going to move on to our third row. We're gonna do 3 chains, and that's gonna count as our first double stitch of this row. And then we're gonna go right into the same exact stitch that we just came out of. We're gonna do another double crochet in the same stitch. And then we're gonna move over to the next stitch and we're gonna do 1 double crochet. And then in the next one, we're gonna do 2 double crochet. And then we're gonna repeat this all the way around. So we're increasing every other stitch, and that is going to be a total of 36 stitches. Once you're done with that row, slip stitch into the top of the first stitch that we started with, and then in our 4th row, we're going to go ahead and chain 3, and then we're going to do a double stitch in the same exact stitch we just came out of, just like we've been doing this whole time. And once you have 2 double crochet in that stitch, you're going to move on to the next stitch. You're going to do 1 double crochet. And then the next stitch is also going to have 1 double crochet. Then the next one will have 2 double crochet. This is our 4th row. 12 times 4 is 48, so you will end with 48 stitches. Repeat this pattern all the way around. Again, once you've gone all the way around and recounted, slip stitch into that first stitch that we did. And then we're going to be done with the brown, so you can go ahead and trim that, leave a little bit of a tail, and then we're going to switch over to our yellow. Now I'm going to start in the same stitch that I just ended in, that way I can tuck the 2 tails in together. And we're just going to go through our stitch, grab the yellow yarn, bring it through, hold the tails so that the yarn doesn't slip, and then we're gonna do 3 chains. And then in this first stitch, the same stitch I should say, we're doing a double crochet just like we have been. The next one we're doing 1 double crochet. Sorry, my hook slipped. Next one we're doing 1 double crochet, and make sure you keep your tails tucked into your work while you're working. Next one we're doing 1 double crochet. Next one another 1 double crochet. And then the next one we're doing 2 double crochets. So this is our 5th row. We're doing 2 double crochet, and then 3 single double crochet. Once your tails are tucked into a few stitches, you can go ahead and trim them or just keep them out of your way and trim them later, and then you're going to continue your pattern all the way around. Once your 5th row is done, you should end with 60 stitches. Continuing on to the 6th row, we're going to do the exact same thing we just did, but we're going to have 2 double crochet in the first one, and then 5 single double crochets, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around, and we'll end with 72 in that 6th row. In the 7th row, we're going to do 2 double crochets in our first stitch, and then we're going to have 6 stitches of just 1 double crochet, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around, and we will end with 84 stitches. In the 8th row, we're going to do 2 double crochet in our first stitch. We will have 7 single double crochets, and then we'll repeat that all the way around, and we will end with 96 stitches in that row. And you can keep going as big as you want your placemat. I ended it there. And then we moved on to the 9th row, our final row, which is our fan stitch. You are not going to chain any stitches, you're just going to yarn over, and then you're going to count 2 stitches over from the stitch that you're working in. 1, 2, go right into that stitch, and we're doing a double crochet. And then in that same exact stitch, you're going to do 5 more for a total of 6 double crochet coming out of this stitch. Once you've done those 6 double crochet, count 2 more stitches over from the stitch that you're working in, and then slip stitch right into that. And then you're going to do the same thing all the way around. And you should end with 24 fan stitches if you did the same amount of stitches that I have done. Notice how I'm using a different hook today. Today I chose a giant hook, probably a J or an I size, and it was way too big. Don't go with what your yarn says what size hook you should be using. I think mine says that I should be using like a G size hook, and I have not been using a G size hook. So if yours says to, then do it, because the stitches were so big that I ended up with way too much extra fabric, and I just, for the sake of the video, I just went with it, and then I just folded it at the end for the photos and the little end clip. But it's not very useful with a giant lump in it, so can't use this one as a placemat. So be careful with what you use. Also, I apologize for the chickens making noise in the background. This is the quietest area that I can find right now, and I apologize for the clunky noises. I'm sorry if they're distracting. They're a little distracting to me too, so I totally understand. I apologize. Once you're done with all of your stitches though, you can go ahead and tuck in all of the tails and clip them off. And then you have a nice stylish Summer Sunflower Crochet placemat. And if you just can't get the hang of crocheting even after watching this video, if there's something that I could do different instruction-wise, let me know. But otherwise, I have a little message for you. Brighten up your dining room table and enjoy every meal with a grin. Samara's Summer Sunflower Crochet Kitchen Set is available for pre-order on Patreon. Only 5 sets are available, so grab your stylish summer set before it's gone. Made of 100% cotton and machine washable. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it taught you something, and if not, let me know what I can do to change that so it is easier for you to learn. I forgot to do this in yesterday's video. Shout out to Jamie McBride. He's my first patron over on Patreon. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful day and happy crocheting.